Welcome back. I've got a nice little shock attack forming up here that I want to bring you on board with. It's the 9 a.m. turn, and we're maybe about a third of the way through the AM chits. Second division, 6th Corps, Getty's division has activated. Bidwell has managed to envelope Ramseur's units here. There's essentially the remnants of Pegram and Johnston sitting up in these 3 hexes, and they're just about to shock attack over here. So I was going to walk you through this, play it real time for you so you can see, and if any thoughts, questions, please let me know. So this is going to be an interesting one. We got 3 shock attacks. First one's going to be this 1st Maine, 43rd New York, and 49th New York against him. Next one's going to be 77th, plus Bidwell and the 122nd New York going against this here. And then the 61st PA is going against this hex right here. All right, so those are the shock attacks. So they're named. Now, I was looking at the potential retreats before shock, and it doesn't look good for the Confederate units over here. Really, the only 2 units that can retreat are this one, and they could go into here. One of them would have to continue on because they're 2 different brigades over here, so they couldn't stay there. So one of them would have to go, and they'd have to do a UDD and so forth, and good chance of losses because I think this only has 2 strength points. These guys have maybe 3 strength points altogether. There's a couple of units under there, and you'll see them in a minute as I start playing this out. And then this one up here is stuck because they could go into, they can't go into here, and they can't go into there because those are shock attack hexes. So they're pretty much stuck. So they're going to stay there. There's not going to be any retreat before shock with this, just because they're not going to be able to. Not going to be able to get out of there too successfully. So they might as well try to inflict as much damage on the Union as possible. So now we move to green commitment. There's nothing green here. There's no green commitment check need to be done. So we've got the defender pre-shock cohesion test. So we're going to start here with these guys. Now they've got a refuge flank over there, but it doesn't really matter for the shock attacks. So this guy first, he is a 6. Actually, there's 2 units there, so I'm going to roll 2 dice. Let's do this 2 right here. There we go. All right, first one rolls a 5. Let's see if I can get you on camera there. So top one is a 5. They're a 6, so they're okay. Second one, I believe, he's a 1 strength point, is a 7, and they rolled a 1. So they're okay. So their pre-shock cohesion is good. So now we'll go over to this hex, and this has some helpers over here. We've got both Ramseur and Pegram here. Why do I have Pegram's division? Why have I a division commander? That should be the brigade commander. I don't know why he's division, but that should be brigade commander. I'll swap him out a little bit later. So we've got the 2 leaders in there, so they'll be able to help out. So they're not disrupted, so there's nothing for that. So they'll get actually a +3 on the dice roll for that unit, or -3, excuse me. So they roll a 3, which goes to a 0. So they're in good shape right there. And then over here, this other hex, let's move some of these out. This is Johnston's hex. This is another good order unit. They're a 7. There we go. All right, and they're facing that way. They're a 7. So they will get help from Johnston, which is a -1. So they roll a 0, so they're all good. So pre-shock effects are nothing on all of them. So again, these are the shock hexes over here. Just put those back. I have a feeling the refuge flank, but we'll deal with those later. Okay. So now reaction fire for these guys as well. So these guys back here, they've only got one they can shoot at. It's these. So they're going to do a 2 plus 1 for rifle, plus 1 for prep fire. So they'll be a 2 with a plus 2. Let's see what they get on the 46. Oh, they roll a 5, so it's low ammo. I don't know how much that's going to affect it, but it's going to be plus 2, so that's going to push them to a 7. All right, let's see what that is. On the 2 column, I think is it's a little D. And the morale roll on that is this dice. So it's a 6. So 6, 6, 6. They're fine. So they do get a low ammo. Great, another counter to put on here. I don't know how much this is going to affect them because they'll probably get shoved out of there. Oh, come on. Here we go, and there we go there. Okay, so those are those guys firing. Yeah, I'm actually just going to leave those off for a moment. Same with this guy. So now we've got a disrupted 2, actually disrupted 1 because he's got a strength point marker there. Disrupted 1, firing. We'll go with this because he's got Bidwell over there. So trying to get the best shot he can. So he's a 2 rifle disrupted, so that nets out to nothing. So it's 1 on the 2 column, on the 1 column. So they roll a 4. All right, so 4 on the 1 column is a miss. So that's a miss. And then we've got another unit down below that can shoot. That's this guy. He's in good order, so he'll be able to fire 2 on the 2 column. Plus 1 for rifle, plus 1 for prep fire, so that's going to be 2 plus 1, 2 plus 2. They roll a 5 again, low ammo. That goes to 7. There we go. On the 2 column, it's just going to be a little D again. And they roll a 5 for the morale, so he is in good shape as well. But they do get a low ammo. Not surprising where they're sitting is not the best position, and they're probably desperate to hold out as best they can. So he is low ammo. He is not. Put him back. All right, and our last pre-shock fire over here, they're going to be a 2. Firing at them. The dangers of close counters. There we go. Okay. So there'll be a 2. Plus 1 for the rifles, plus 1 for prep fire, and plus 1 for being in the press works. So that's going to be plus 3. So it's 2 with a plus 3. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's an 8. Plus 3 is 11. On the 2 column is a 1D plus 2. So he's going to take a hit. He got pretty beat up here because when he moved up here, he got hit with fire that brought him down to a 4. Now he's down to a 3. Okay, plus he's got a little D plus 2. The D roll is a 7, plus 2 is a 9. So he's going to fail and he's going to be disordered. So they held out pretty good over there. There we go. All right. Put Johnson back there just so they know who's who. All right. So that is our pre-shock firing, reaction fire. Now we've got the shocks. Okay, so we're going to start over here and have these guys. So we got 7, 11, 13 against 2. It's definitely 5 to 1, so that's going to be a plus 5 modifier. They're not disrupted. No, not disrupted. But we do have a front and flank modifier, which is a plus 4. So that makes it 9. And then we're going to have a minus 1 for the woods. That's going to help us barely. So it brings us down to 8. Looking at defenders, are there any disordered attackers? No, there's not. Bidwell is participating, so we're in good shape there. No breastworks yet. Okay, so it's going to be a +8. This is going to be pretty devastating. Most likely, as a defender retreats, it's just a matter if they can continue shock. So here we go. The roll is 0 right there. So that means it's an 8. Defender retreats 1 hex and is disordered, plus the attacker must continue shock. All right, we can still continue shock if wanted to, but they've got to retreat 1 hex. So they've got to go back 1 hex and are disordered. It's just 1. So that's actually better for the Union because that's going to potentially trap those other units on the other side, right there. All right, so these guys are going to come over here. Here's our shock hex, right in there. Okay, so they shocked there, knocked them back. All right, so now we'll move along to this hex over here. This is going to be a little bit more difficult because this is strength point of 6, strength point of 2 is 8 against 1, and then 2 more, and then 2 more underneath there makes 3. So 8 to 3 is just a 2 to 1. Yeah, so it's +2 on the odds. The attacker is disordered, so it's a -1, and the defenders are disordered, so it's a +1. So it says it's a +2. Bidwell is part of the attack, part of this whole shock phase, so it's okay. It's not a front and flank. So it's just going to be a +2 on the dice roll and make it. There's no woods there either, so there's no terrain. So +2. All right, they roll a 3. 3 + 2 is a 5. So 5 on here. Defender retreats 1 hex and is disordered. Okay. So here, with the defender retreating 1 hex, they can't go here because that's there. These guys are here. So these guys are going to have to take a step loss, which is going to eliminate the top unit, 58th Virginia. Okay, they're gone. Because they can't retreat. They can't retreat here or here, so they're kind of stuck, and they're lost. These guys, the same thing. They can't retreat. They'll have to take a step loss, which brings them down to 1, and they are disordered. So they stay in the hex, but they are disordered. All right, let me just... yeah, okay, yep, that's right. They can't retreat, so they've got to lose that. So now, yeah, so that's that hex. Now moving along over here, this is going to be another tricky one too, because this is going to be 3 against 2. Just check that again. Yeah, 3 against 2. So that's going to be where's my card? Here it is. 3 to 2 is going to be a +1. Attacker is disordered, so that's going to be a -1. So that's going to be 0. It's going into the woods and breastwork, so that's -2. Ouch. Anything else here? They do have the attacker. Yeah, so it's actually going to be a -2. So this is not going to be a good one for the Union, I don't think. Let's see. They roll a 3, which -2 makes 1. A 1 is attacker retreats 1 hex and is disordered. Defender may use continued shock if they want. Okay. So he must retreat 1 hex as disordered. So he's already disordered, so he is going to have a second disorder, which means, just double checking on this, that he will have to take another. I'll have to do another roll with him, another UDD with him. He's a 5. Rolls a 3. All right, so he passes, so he's going to lose a strength point. So he's down to a 2, so he is going to collapse. Yep. Yeah, this is where it doesn't look good here. So he's going to collapse. Oh, he's going to get down to 2, and also going to collapse marker. Don't know. Yes, I do. Here we go. Right there. So he's going to be back there, and he's collapsed. Now the defender, I put that there because now that was the original shock attack, but this is where the defender can advance if he wants to, and make use continued shock. Okay, so let's go to the advance phase. So let's go with the Union first. Okay, so over here, yeah, they're definitely going to advance in. So we're going to move that shock marker off. They will just come in. Oh, how did he get over there? He should be over there. Sorry. So yeah, we're just going to move those guys right in because they'll be in the frontal hex here, and that's going to make them tough to get out there. So they'll move in like so. Right, they don't need to pivot. They're going to stay there. So that'll be all for that. Now they can't advance in because obviously he didn't move out. So they're okay now. The Confederates over here can advance going forward. But if they do, that's going to put them, well, it's going to put them in the frontal hex of them. It's 2-2. They're collapsed. There's not much behind them, but Wheaton hasn't moved just off the map here. I'll zoom out here in a minute to show you. So there's still that. Warner over here has already moved his units on there, and he's done. But these guys over here are not done. So it is a question of do we want to have them go up in here and kind of be caught? Wheaton can come up and fill gaps over here. I don't think so. I think they stay where they are. I'll be honest, because they're going to get flanked from over here. Unfortunately, they won't be able to pivot because these guys are in their frontal hex over here. So I don't think they're going to advance over here as well. So let's take the shock markers off. They actually still have their refused flank, excuse me, over here, and that will be Bidwell's first activation. So let me put my fatigue markers on there, and he has shocked. So I need my other fatigue markers. Where are they? I don't know. Fatigue markers. Other ones here. Oh well, I'll get those later. I had some red ones here. He'll need a red one because he's shocked once. Johnson is going to need a red one because he is shocked. Same thing with Pegram down here. I'll get my red ones out. I don't know what happened to them on there. Anyways, so that was a bit of excitement. I just noticed Warner needs his. There we go. A bit of excitement there. Pushed back. Ramsor, a lot of casualties here. Definitely going to see, I think, Pegram's, yeah, actually, yes, Pegram's brigade is nearly wiped out. There's 4 eliminated units over here right now. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed that little shock attack by Bidwell against Ramsor. Okay, coming back with the end of the 9 a.m. turn. We've moved up to the 10 p.m. turn on the turn track there. And I want to give you a little overview of what's been going on and what the battle looks like so far. So, doing a little handheld held here. Just want to show you some of the AMs here. Started out with a March chit to try to get some more of the Confederate reinforcements in there. Then it was a pretty much equal spread across all the AMs here for the Union and Confederate. And that kind of helped the Union, I think, a little bit more because Confederates really couldn't get much attack going before Union shit came up again. So we'll take a look at that when we see the map here in a second. Taking a look at reinforcements. So for this turn, we're actually up to the 10 a.m. turn over here. But you see there's a lot of traffic. 9 a.m. Russell did not make it on the board at all. And that was a little bit of a problem. We had the traffic jam coming in, which you can kind of see if I come over here. You can see we still got a good bunch of Ricketts units, particularly Kiefer and Emerson, to come on the board. Not quite sure what to do with them, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So let me get you hooked up to the map, and we can take a look at that. All right, back with the wide view of the map and taking a look at the action over here. First off, here's our center of the battle at the moment, which we'll talk about in a second. But just wanted to show you, we've had some cavalry and reinforcements for Lomax coming up here from the south. We've got Goodwin back here from Ramseur's division. We've got Wharton's 2nd Cavalry over here taking up a blocking position. And then to the north, you can see the heavy reinforcements of Gordon are coming down this way. They should be able to engage this turn. Not quite sure exactly what they're going to do because the center of the battle here was really quite the focus of this particular turn. So I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit too far, I think. Let's come back a little bit and slide you over a hair. There we go. So in the center, we have Getty's division of Wright's Corps replacing the cavalry at this particular point. Cavalry is still in good shape. McIntosh is in good shape, and so is Chapman, who's actually broken through over on the Union right, kind of the Confederate center at this particular point. And they're still in pretty good shape, but I want to have the infantry now start taking over some of the heavier duties here to free up the cavalry, potentially to move south or somewhere around the Confederates here. And plus, I have a stream, as you can see, of infantry coming down the road that needs to move up. But Getty attacked. Bidwell's brigade really did the damage. They pretty much wiped out Pegram's brigade that was holding out up here. Johnson is still, he has one unit left, but he took his lion's share of damage. His units have retreated back here. You can see Chapman, as I said before, has broken through. Johnson is he's just kind of holding out here now just to burn up or try to burn up some Union AMs. But it's going to be a little bit futile because we do have Warner, the 2nd Brigade of Getty's division, now flanking these woods and now approaching the second line of defense where Lomax is holding with Nelson's batteries, which I don't think they'll hold very long because those Confederate units over here are in tough shape. These are all the single units. Some of them are even collapsed over here as well. The hope is Goodwin can come online and start to move, but he's been stuck here with a march order. Been impossible to get them into a advance or attack order, which really caused a problem over here and why this whole flank collapsed. We now have Ramseur, who has been captured and replaced by Pegram over here. in charge, so that's going to make it even tougher to get him into some type of advance or attack orders. The division has gone combat ineffective because the brigade of Pegram is destroyed. The brigade of Johnston has also been wrecked. There's just 1 or 2 regiments left somewhere in these stacks, and so they're in a pretty tough position. But hopefully we can get Goodwin on board. The other thing too is he's out of command. Early is still back here. He hasn't been able to move up to get in command of him. Hopefully this turn that will happen, and that will help out too. So really a tough situation in the center for the Confederates. Union, it's all going their way. As I said, Warner moving up. We've got Wheaton back here, who's now moving up here as well. The hope is they drive forward or to the right a little bit to potentially meet any threat by Gordon's units coming down from the north over here. Gordon has started to push. Let me zoom back out a little bit so you can see it, and we'll realign you a little bit so I can zoom in. There we go. Move in over here a little bit and zoom up. Okay, there we go. You can see Gordon's units up here getting in line, pushing back the cavalry. Cavalry is just basically retreating once they've become visible. These guys over here retreated in the face of York's brigade moving up. We've got Atkinson's brigade moving up to hit on the woods and try to hit on the flank. It's going to be tough, though, and it may have some trepidations to it. They may push out the cavalry, but then slide down to the south a little bit to come through these woods, because this is going to be tough terrain through here. There's a lot of hills and little valleys and stuff in here that's going to make it difficult to get across. And we need to find some place where they can kind of knife in at the Union attack and slow the momentum down over here. The Confederates are not receiving any more reinforcements at this turn. Next turn, Rhodes will actually appear to the north and start to come in, followed by Breckinridge will finally make his appearance there as well at the noontime turn with it. Union will have a steady stream of reinforcements coming in as the battle unfolds here. So let's take it back to the wide view of everything and give you a quick shot of what turn 9, the 9 a.m. turn, looked like. From the casualty perspective, Union has 9 victory points, or I should say VP perspective, Confederates have 4 victory points. Confederates still hold all of these places over here, which gives them a decisive victory, as well as the Valley Pike, and the Union still holds this. So there's no change with the degree of level of victory at the moment. Union has a slight advantage, but it's still technically a draw, and then with the shifts it pushes up to a decisive Confederate victory. So Confederates still need to hold out as long as they can, as far as they can up here, to prevent the Union from getting any of the fort hexes and breastwork hexes over here, let alone, the Valley Pike to the south. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed these so far. I'm going to move along to play the 10 a.m. turn and maybe sneak in some more individual plays like I did on the last couple turns, and go from there. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel inclined, and we'll move on from there. So thanks for watching.